Have you ever played a game that made you cry? Maybe you were super invested in the characters, or maybe there was a deep tragedy that occurred in the story, or maybe you were crying tears of joy. Because as someone who's been playing games for over 20 years, it's not unusual for a well-crafted video game narrative to bring me to tears. But it is unusual for that game to have Pokemon in the title. But then I played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Let the Music Play, a fan-made ROM hack for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, and I was sucked into the narrative, and enamored by the characters just striving to find a place where they belong in a world populated by Pokemon. Even if the main Pokemon series is filled with sick dogs and abusive parents, I've never felt like crying. Even in the face of the original Explorers of Sky with its bittersweet ending, my face was dry. But Let the Music Play is special. It manages to capture some magical, intangible quality that brings its characters to life and makes you care for them, all while playing as Monkey Dory, the telepathic monkey Pokemon who looks like they just stretched them out in Photoshop. You begin the game with Monkey Dory hitting his rock bottom. Despite living in Treasure Town his whole life, he found himself unemployed, lonely, and spending every day drinking at Spinda's Cafe, looking for meaning in the bottom of a cup. 24-year-old burnout in a Pokemon game. This is hitting a little close to home already. Sometimes, friends just drift apart as you grow older, and sometimes your boss wants you to abuse your telepathic powers to get customers, so you quit. No matter what the reason is, having zero life purpose still makes you a bit of a loser. At least in Monkey Dory's eyes. That was until Monkey Dory met two Pokemon, Pansear and Togedemaru. At first, he thought that they were nobodies, just two girls in Treasure Town on vacation. It's not like that was unusual. They would be here for a week or two, he would see them on the street, and then all of a sudden, never again. Two Pokemon not worth remembering, much less noticing, but that was until Togedemaru accidentally dropped a slip of paper. "Excuse me, miss, you've dropped something." Monkey Dory was shocked. It was only natural for Pokemon to panic when they heard a stranger's voice in their head, but never this much. Togedemaru was acting like this was the first time she had heard anything. Well, because it was. Telepathy. But she's deaf! And he had never met a Pokemon with a disability before, but thanks to Monkey Dory's telepathy, Togedemaru had heard another Pokemon speak, even if she wasn't able to understand what he was saying. Luckily, her best friend Pansear was able to calm her down using Pokemon Sign Language, explain the situation, and then Pansear made an offer that would change Monkey Dory's life forever. Togedemaru wants to ask if you could teach her what words sound like. Dude, I can already tell this is gonna destroy my heart. What, she wants me to... Oh, she looks so Monkey Dory, we have to do it. She's so excited. If it'll make it easier, I'd be happy to teach you sign language as well. Honestly, this sounds like a huge drag. Monkey Dory really didn't want to help out two strangers. Not to mention this entire deal would mean that Monkey Dory would have to learn sign language, but really... Look at them! How could you turn down that face? Especially when you say yes and she dances around in happiness like that. And that's how the unlikely trio of Monkey Dory, Pansear, and of course Togedemaru was born. To start every day, the trio would meet so that Monkey Dory could learn sign language. After all, that was the only language Togedemaru knew. So if he wanted to teach her what words sound like, that was where they would have to start. And right from the beginning, it was a whole new world for him. Apparently, there were different kinds of sign languages depending on Pokemon's body shape. It's not like a Magikarp has access to all the fingers Monkey Dory or Pansear had after all. The one I'm learning is for short-limbed Pokemon like Togedemaru. And even though he was learning fast, he could only really talk in slow and choppy sentences. Monkey Dory also learned about sign names, which were unique hand signals that referred to you, since it's not like there was a motion for Monkey Dory. Togedemaru's sign name was Spiny and Round. Pansear's was Cook or Cooking, even though Togedemaru affectionately used the sign for Frying Pan. And Monkey Dory simply went with, well, Monkey. It's not like he had time to learn too many signs, after all. Eventually, out of curiosity, Monkey Dory asked the pair of girls what brought them all the way to Treasure Town, and Pansear was happy to explain. "We traveled to this continent to visit my cousin. Togedemaru came with me for fun and to see more of the world." Just because Togedemaru was deaf didn't mean that she wanted to stay home her entire life. This was actually the last stop on their trip before they went home for a while. However, Even though they had been to so many places, there was still one thing Togedemaru had never been able to do, and maybe Monkey Dory was her chance to finally do that.
I'd like to go on an adventure. You know dungeons are too dangerous for you, Togedemaru. Warning you of danger with sign language is too unreliable, and I can't warn you with my voice. You get seriously hurt. But we have Monkey Dory with us now. He can warn me of danger with telepathy.
Uh-oh. Monkey Dory didn't know how he felt about guiding two would-be adventurers through a dungeon, disability or not. It's not like he was an ace explorer after all, but he did know one thing: a new dungeon had recently been discovered, and even the feral Pokemon that dwelled within it were pretty weak. It was the perfect proving ground for inexperienced adventurers, and Pansear was all too happy to give her blessing, except
I don't want you to come.
Togedemaru had spent this entire trip, no, her entire life, relying on Pansear to help her, to communicate, and to show her around. They wanted to do this. No, they had to do this without them. They couldn't ask their friend to spend their entire life dedicated to taking care of them. They needed to be independent. So even if she needed help from Monkey Dory in the dungeon, she wanted to do this without Pansear. The next day, the trio woke up early to head out. Pansear was nice enough to buy them supplies, and after some choice words from Monkey Dory,
"Don't worry about me being awake. Arguing with you is plenty refreshing, Frying Pan,"
she saw Togedemaru off on their first adventure. And outside of us being a little overprotective,
Don't attack them!
Togedemaru was really holding their own in the dungeon.
I think I'm getting stronger. They deserve the world. If I could, I would give it to them.
More than that, they were the ones helping Monkey Dory around to every corner. I mean, it's not like the monkey Pokemon had much in the way of attack moves. The most they could do was simply let Togedemaru know if any Pokemon were approaching that they couldn't see. But sooner or later, the duo made it to the end of their dungeon, and Togedemaru was ecstatic.
Ah! Ah! The little dance she does whenever she's happy.
Pansear was filled with a mixture of excitement and relief to see that Togedemaru was okay, and more than that, they were happy that their best friend seemed like a natural explorer. She was also thankful to Monkey Dory, and he felt good. It was the first time in a while that he felt like he had made an actual difference, and their cheerful days continued just like that. Outside of exploring, the trio would still meet up so that Pansear could teach Monkey Dory sign language until they were basically fluent, and in turn, Monkey Dory would teach Togedemaru the spoken language. It was easy since they were a great student. Every lesson, she was basically enthusiastic to know the sounds of each of the actual words. It was like a whole new world to her, but there were still some things that Monkey Dory just couldn't convey.
Could you teach me about music? About music? You want to learn about music? Some deaf Pokemon understand and enjoy music, but I've always had trouble. I can feel the vibrations if it's loud enough, but I still don't really get it. Is there any way you can teach me about it? Sorry, I can't think of a way, and I don't know much about music anyway.
I mean, really, how was someone supposed to convey the concept of music? That's like trying to convey the concept of colors to a blind Pokemon. And no matter how much Monkey Dory and Pansear put their heads together, they just couldn't come up with a solution. That is, until...
You'll have to excuse me, my mini amigos. But did my ear overhear one of you saying that you didn't understand music? We are Ludicolo, Electrode, Quackwavel, the Mirror Brigade. Okay. The Mirror Brigade? Correctamundo, my most humble hombre. We go from town to town teaching Pokemon the magic of dance. There's no problem that can't be solved by busting a tasty move or two. I guarantee we can help your sonically illiterate friend discover the groove within. So tell us, amigos, who is it among you that is suffering through this musical blockade? Well, my best friend Togedemaru was born deaf, you see. So she's always struggled to understand music. Do you think you can help with that? But of course! Wait, she's deaf? That's totally fine! Do you want to go along with them, Togedemaru? They do seem a bit odd. I think they seem like a lot of fun, and I really want to understand music.
As nice and Ludicolo and his friends seemed, Monkey Dory was still wary. In his experience, 3 strange Pokemon on the side of the road offering a good time usually meant trouble, but if there was even a chance that Togedemaru could learn more about music, it was worth the risk.
Okay, we're in.
The first step was meeting the trio at the Mirrortopia Disco, or as Electrode put it,
It's only the most hip and happening place this side of the planet.
which also just happened to be at the end of a dungeon. Hooray! Togedemaru is lucky they're cute. But it was also a good chance for them to become more independent. As Togedemaru put it, whenever Pansear was around, it felt too much like they were a parent and child, not friends. Pansear would always try and take care of them, but with Monkey Dory, it felt more like they were partners, working together, especially since Monkey Dory was weak and couldn't make it through Mystery Dungeons on his own, which was a little insulting, but this was a chance to prove to Pansear that Togedemaru could take care of themselves. Also, speaking of which, who builds a disco club at the bottom of a mystery dungeon? That's just bad business decisions, right? It also didn't help that the more Monkey Dory and Togedemaru talked to the Mirror Brigade,
If you see any Hydreigon in there, run like the wind, understand? Hydreigon? This is Dynamo requesting permission for takeoff, over. Permission granted, over.
they just seemed way too suspicious and nefarious.
What?
Monkey Dory knew that teaching a deaf Pokemon about music would be difficult, but he thought that meant more like conceptually. He didn't think it meant having to defeat a horde of dancing Pokemon on the way to a club, and it only got more feverish as the duo got deeper and deeper into the dungeon.
Ah! Oh my god, is that a Cerule Edge groovin'?
But Togedemaru insisted that they press on, and eventually, they made it to the end.
So you finally arrived. Welcome to the dance floor! This is stupid. Traveled a long way to get here. That was your fault. Overcome many challenges and obstacles. You could have just built the disco in town. But I'm afraid that this is where your journey ends. For you see, this was all a trick. We deceived you! No way, really? Yes, indeed! I'm afraid you've been thoroughly duped! We're not a traveling troupe at all! I can't even dance! Oh, allow me to elucidate the truth to you dumbstruck fools! Until now, you've known us as the Mirror Brigade, but that was a false moniker! In truth, we are the Mirror Cult!
The cult's goal was to conquer the world with their funky grooves and summon their idol, Mirror B. That guy from WarioWare with the blue afro? Bizarreness aside, Monkey Dory wasn't exactly surprised by their heel turn. I mean, the Three Stooges had even kidnapped a carving to use as their disco ball. That doesn't exactly scream innocent. But our heroes realized that the Mirror Cult had made 2 miscalculations. First, their evil monologue literally fell on deaf ears.
How much of that did you actually understand? Oh my god, they're deaf! They didn't understand any of that!
Second, after Monkey Dory explained what was going on, it was time for battle.
We call upon thee, our Lord and Savior, Mirror B. Oh my god, it's him! Oh, now this is a funky beat. Let's blow them away, my new and wonderful posse. We've got this, Togedemaru. Let the music play!
Which they lost pretty quickly. They were weak. They were musicians after all, not fighters. Even with the battle over though, Monkey Dory wasn't quite ready to leave without accomplishing their goal.
Besides, you still haven't taught her about music. What? You still want us to do that? Yep, dumb as you are, you still know more about music than I do, so come on.
These 3, or 2 after Quavel left, still knew more about music than Monkey Dory did, and he wasn't about to let them go without helping Togedemaru. Monkey Dory helping his friend was worth all this trouble.
They're talking, and it's difficult to tell what about from the side. Maybe they're coming up with a strategy? Wait, did the music start? Yeah, it's playing. Can you feel it? Guess if I concentrate, I can just feel the vibrations from the floor. Monkey Dory's frowning and looks like he's thinking really hard about how to explain this to me. He's so nice. Can you try dancing to the beat? Okay, I'll try my best. Oh! Oh, my heart! Ah! This is really difficult, sorry. No need to apologize. I'll try to figure something else out, but keep trying for now. Maybe, can I use telepathy to broadcast the beat to her head? Maybe. Is there something to that? I have an idea. This might not work, but let's try it. Close your eyes then. Okay. What was that? Sorry, this is quite difficult. Whoa! Is this music? This is amazing!
Even though it was difficult, even though it was straining, Monkey Dory had done it. For the first time in her life, Togedemaru was able to listen to music, to dance in rhythm, even if he couldn't join her himself. He had to concentrate on channeling the music after all. But Togedemaru said that that was okay. They would dance together next time. Next time. What an amazing combination of words. It wasn't long before Magnezone showed up to arrest Ludicolo and Electrode. Maybe they should have run off like their buddy, but who would have wanted to miss that mini dance party? Now that he thought about it, Monkey Dory hoped someone would help that carbink down, but that wasn't his problem. He didn't have time for that, because before long it was time for goodbyes.
I didn't realize you'd be setting sail this late in the day. I mean, it's an overnight trip. We should arrive around midday tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna miss you, Monkey Dory. Surely you aren't gonna miss this old grump. I am though. I'm so glad I met you, Monkey Dory. You guys. In the days before I met you, I could barely get out of bed in the morning. I couldn't be bothered to do anything. When you first asked me to teach Togedemaru, my first thought was how much of a drag it seemed to be. But I'm so glad I said yes. These days have been the happiest days of my life I've had in years, and I'll be mad if I don't miss the heck out of both of you. We'll be back, Monkey Dory. We'll come back one day. We definitely will. It's a promise. We'll be setting off shortly. Climb aboard, everyone. Don't leave anything behind. We need a board now, Togedemaru. Oh, okay. I'll miss you, Monkey Dory. You said that already, but I'll miss you too. I am gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you more than you can ever imagine. And you can bet I'm gonna be counting the days until I can see you again.